Hi everyone, I'm Christina Nace and welcome to Chem 1. I just wanted to give you a little brief overview of how the course is set up. So when you first log into e-learning, you're going to see a whole bunch of instructional videos. Feel free to watch those. We will be using the discussion board. It's optional if you want to use it. Watch this video and it'll explain a little bit how to do that, how to submit an assignment. These are all kind of standard videos that come with Blackboard. So I didn't make any of those. Now, over here on the left-hand side, this is basically everything you need for the class. This first link is a link to Zoom, and this is a recurring meeting. So I'll be on Zoom on Monday and Wednesday at 5 o'clock at night. It's going to do a different time. If this time doesn't work for you, just let me know. I can meet with you at other times as well, but this is the time that I will definitely be designating to this class to meet with you. So Monday and Wednesday at 5. And then you can see our syllabus. So if you go down here, and I'll do a separate video just on walking you through the syllabus. But here, the syllabus and the schedule are listed over here. Now, the real stuff that you need for the class is in the modules. So I have it split up into kind of 4 different modules. If you just click on week 1, because that's where you're going to start, the very first thing you want to look at is the week 1 overview. And when you open that, you're going to get a list of our lecture videos. That's not the right one. That'd be quicker if I had already had it open. So you have a list of all of our lecture videos. You're gonna watch all those. It will also tell you exactly what you need for, oh, it's getting a little twitchy. There you go. So these are all on YouTube. You don't have to be logged into e-learning in order to watch them. You can watch them on your phone, do whatever you want with those. They all have corresponding notes, and you'll see the link to the notes as well. And in the weekly overview, it'll tell you what you need to do for lab. So for lab, this first week, we have a lab safety video, and we also have a lab safety manual. So read through the manual, because the manual is more for like how to do these labs safely at home. And the video is more of if you were actually in a real chemistry lab, what kind of safety issues would come up, and so how would you be safe in a real chemistry lab? So I think there's still some value in watching that video. It's also kind of funny, so I enjoy watching that video. But if you're going to take Chem 2 and you will be in an actual chem lab, you're going to want to have some of this background safety knowledge. So even though it doesn't pertain to the labs that you're doing in your house, that's more in the lab safety manual. The video is still useful. You should take a look at that. There's a lab safety quiz that's set up just like a quiz. All the quizzes are like 20 points, 15 to 20 points, or 15 to 25 points, I think. This one is 20 points. And then we also have that first week we'll do an Excel lab. So for lab, you're going to order a lab kit. If you haven't ordered that lab kit yet, you're going to want to do that. Do it right away. Even if you order it the first day and it takes a week to come in, you won't be behind. I didn't plan any labs that first week that are going to use the lab kit. So we have some dry labs to do first. So that just gives you a little bit of a buffer time for anybody that kind of added the class late or whatever. But it will take some time for you to get that lab, to get the kit. So what you're going to do is go to the bookstore website and you're going to order a voucher. So you're going to pay the bookstore. The bookstore is going to mail you a voucher. If you order it really late, they may be emailing you the voucher. And then once that comes in the mail, open it right away, because you're going to have to go to the Carolina website. That's the company that we ordered the kits from. You put in a code, and then they're going to mail you out your kit. So it's a little bit of a process. So if you haven't gotten started with that, make sure you do it as soon as possible. But again, the first 2 labs are the first 2 labs are not using the kit, so you won't be behind. So if you're like, oh my gosh, you need to get it, but you're also not going to be behind. So the first one is an intro to Excel lab, because we're going to use Excel in a couple of these labs. It's good to know. You can get it for free. So if you're like, oh, I don't have it, here's a link for how to get that for free through the school. And we're going to list our due dates on here as well. I'll try to post a weekly, walkthrough video. What are we doing this week? Just like this. Experiment 2, we have, that's another dry lab, just naming compounds. Experiment 3 is actually using the kit, so that's measurement and uncertainty. So you will have 3 parts to, you'll see 3 files on there. You're gonna have a pre-lab assignment. You're always gonna do that. That's gonna be set up like a quiz. So you should read through the procedure first, and then try to log in and do the pre-lab assignment. And then after you do the lab, you'll have a lab report due. And so each lab report, and I'll show you the template for that, will have certain pieces that you need to fill out. It's set up like an assignment, so when you open it, you'll see the document. It'll tell you exactly what you need to add in that lab report. We'll also ask that sometimes you'll be prompted to take pictures of your setup, of what you're doing at the lab. So we know that you're actually doing the labs and you're the one doing the lab. That would be great. So you're going to report some pictures. You'll add some pictures in your report. Then we also have some homework. So these are problem sets. Really one for each chapter. And there are a couple pages, usually about like 10 questions or so. You're going to submit those as an assignment. I'll show you how to do that right into e-learning. I will also go over those with you. So if you have questions, you can post a question in the discussion board. And I gave you some, and I'll show you the discussion board and some sample, like a sample way of how to post that. So just tell me problem set 1, question 2, and then if you copy the question in there, it'll make it easier for other people to comment. So you guys can help each other. You can answer other people's questions on there. I'll give you extra credit for that. I'll try to keep track of what's going on the discussion board. But if a lot of people have the same question and you don't want to wait until one of our live sessions, then I can make a video and I can just post that right into the discussion. So it's a little bit quicker it's a little bit easier for me. So I know that everybody gets that answer. Everybody gets to see that problem rather than just doing email. Feel free to email me. You can email me a lot. If I'm getting a lot of the same questions, then I'll do I'll make a discussion board post, or I'll post an announcement or something. All right, that's a lot of words. So we have videos on here, we have labs, we have homework and quizzes. And so your quizzes are, they're pretty straightforward too. It's just set up. Most of them are multiple choice, some fill in the blanks as well. For the homework set, for the problem sets, when you upload those, I want to see your work so I can give you partial credit on that. I want to see where you're going wrong in what you're doing. If you just give me the answer, I don't know if you just copied the answer from somebody else or if you actually know what you're doing. So show all your work for your homework and as well on as your exams. So we'll go through the exam process. At the very end of this weekly module, I just give you kind of like a summary of what's due this week and when. And I actually include some stuff that's due like Monday. If stuff's due on Monday, I'll put it in this even though it's technically the next week. And you can kind of check off what you're doing on there. So that's what's in your weekly overview that I opened 10,000 times. So going back over to that module in week 1, what else do we have there? So these are our lecture videos. So if you open these lecture videos, the best way to kind of take this class, I think, is to download these, or if you have them on your iPad or something, if you can write on the notes. This just helps you keeps everything organized for you. So in the video, it's me showing you this, and then I fill in the blanks basically. So we'll talk about what does matter with properties, solids, liquids, gases, and then when we start getting to the math, I'll work through the math problems with you. So there's like a little space there. You might need more space, but I'll walk you through these problems so you can see a lot of problems kind of worked out. So I think people find it really helpful to download these notes, print them out, and then write all over them. If you don't have a printer at home and you just want to write on a separate piece of paper, that's good. But when you're watching the videos, you really should be taking notes on them and not just watching them passively. I mean, you can listen to them a couple times, but really chemistry, you need to write these out. You need to start, you need to write them out. You need to think through the problems. So don't, and I'll prompt you in that video. So I'll say, all right, we'll do one together. And then the next one will be like, pause the video and you try to do it and then tune back in, and that's me working on it. So don't be afraid to kind of work through problems on your own. It will help you when you're trying to do the problem sets. All right, what else do we have? So those are your lecture notes. Quizzes, your quizzes are going to be set up just like it's just a quiz, just a quiz. If you click on that, I'll try to make everything available for you so that you can, so you would just click on that and then click OK, and then you start the quiz, and that's pretty straightforward. That will, for the most part, you'll get your grade right at the end. Sorry, things are popping up here. Then we have problem sets. So your problem sets, the way they kind of look, you have, there we go. You have, there we go, right there. You're going to click on it here. That will open up the document with all the questions. So the easiest way to do this, if you have a printer, print it out. And oops. Zoom is really slowing my computer down. So you'll have all these questions. You're going to answer those. And again, as you're working through this, if you're like, I have no idea what equation I need to use for this or that, just copy and paste that question into the discussion board, and then other people can help you. I can help you. If everyone is asking the same question, we'll definitely go through that, and definitely on our live session. So if you can't post in the discussion board before the live session, that's okay. If you still have like a list of questions you want to go over, great. We can definitely do those. So when you're done with that, so again, easiest thing to do, if you have a printer, print it out, write all over it, write all over this, this document, and then upload it. So then you would just attach a file over here. And there's a video on how to attach documents in an assignment. So that's set up, so your homework sets are set up as an assignment. All right, back to our module. So those are problem sets, and there's one for every chapter. So that first week, we're pretty much doing chapters 1, 2, and 3. So again, this is an accelerated class. It moves very quickly. If at any point you feel like you're getting lost and you're like, oh my God, just set up a Zoom with me. I'm very, very willing to meet with you guys as often as you need. I can Zoom with you like anytime you want. I'm up until 2 in the morning. If you want to Zoom at 1 in the morning, like you got it. Like you just let me know when it works for you, and we can make that happen. All right, so that's our problem sets. Labs. So as I said before, labs have kind of 3 parts to them. You're going to have a procedure. So this first one will be, oh, sorry, those are your lab guidelines. So here you'll have your intro. This first one will be your procedure, and then you'll have the pre-lab, and then you'll have the lab report. So the pre-lab is going to be set up just like a quiz. So you're going to open that. There's going to be a couple questions. It just looks like a little tiny quiz. It's only 5 points, and I think it's set so you could take it as many times as you want. The lab report is right here. So lab report is set up kind of like an assignment, just like the problem sets. And when you open that, it'll give you blank spaces for all the pieces that you need. And then in the lab report guidelines document, it will tell you like, what do you need for an abstract? Boy, lagged out there for a second. What do you need in an abstract? What do you need in your introduction? All those sorts of things. I think I'm opening too many documents at a time here. But all those pieces will be explained in there. Okay, so we have our weekly overview. We have our, those are your lecture notes. You'll have a quiz in here. You have your problem sets. You have another, and then you have lab stuff. So lab, again, is split up into, you have your procedure, you have your pre-lab, and then you have your report. So there's nothing that you have to turn in for the procedure. That's just for you to read and to do the lab. Again, if you have a printer, print it out, great. If you don't, you can just pull it up on your computer while you're doing your lab. If you want to work with other people while you're doing your lab, if you want to meet somebody in class, I don't recommend that you meet up with them and like go to their house and do it. Everyone should really have their own kit and should be doing their own hands-on work. But if you want to Zoom with somebody else or FaceTime with them while they're doing their lab and you can problem solve together, that's great. If you want to Zoom with me while you're doing the lab so I can help you problem solve something, if you're having a problem, let me know. I can try to work that out too. That's not a problem. None of that's a problem. So those are all the things that we have in the modules. One other feature over here is the course calendar. So all your due dates are listed in here. So your due dates are, you'll see the heavy due dates are like Monday and Thursday, with Tuesdays are usually where our exams are. And if you're wondering why you have 2 things listed there, for the exam, it's going to be set up similar to a quiz where you log in, you take your, you answer the questions, and then after you submit, I want you to submit a separate file of your work so I can see what kind of work you worked out with everything. You don't have to download the exam or anything. You can do that all on a separate piece of paper. Just number all the problems so I can see your work. For anything that required like a mathematical calculation, show me your work, submit that in a separate document. So under, it'll appear in the modules. The exam won't be ready for you all the time. So the exam is only gonna appear for will be available for like 24 hours. You will only have 2.5 hours to do the exam though. So it's available for 24 hours, but once you open it, you have to finish it within that 2.5 hours. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, let me know. You can still submit it late, I believe. So even if it times out, I think you can still submit it. I will check on those parameters. I'm a little new to some of these things. I'm learning. But make sure you submit your exam in a separate file, just the work part. So there's 2 parts of the exam. That's why it's kind of listed twice to help you remember. Oh, I have to submit. Also have to submit this. Your lab reports are generally due on Monday. That gives you the entire weekend to do them. So I give you a schedule, and you should kind of like pace yourself using that schedule. And then your due dates are, all the labs from that week are due on Monday. All of the homework sets for that week are due on Thursday. If you need another day, just let me know. Like, I'm pretty flexible with the deadlines. These are for your own good though, to keep you on track. If we didn't put any deadlines, everyone would do everything the last day of class. I know you said, no, not me, that's somebody else. But It happens to everybody. So try to stick with these deadlines the best you can. It's going to help you be able to be successful in the class. So those are the, that's the course catalog. And then we have the discussion board. So the discussion board, this is where you should post questions. So there's one for lab questions, there's one for homework questions. I can make another one for you to like introduce yourself. If you want to meet with me at any time, just to meet with me, like I think my biggest fear of teaching an online class is I'm not going to get to know my students, and I really do want to get to know you. So please, Zoom with me. If you want to do one-on-one, come into the live sessions. I would really like to meet all of you. I'm not just your chemistry teacher, I'm also your dean. So if you have questions on other classes, like you can email me. If you're having problems with anything STEM related, let me know. If you don't know what to do with your life, let me know. So I can help you in more than just chemistry ways. So please contact me if you need me. So that's the discussion board. Now, the other thing that I did here was I added, suppose you have a quiz, but you can't find it in the module. It's not showing up for whatever reason. It'll be over here too. So I kind of have this like listed in duplicate, just in case you can't find stuff in the module. You're like, I can't remember what week that was. So quizzes are here. I put all the notes here, labs, exams, and again, the exams are not going to show up until that 24-hour due date period. Problem sets, and then I have just another assignment Dropbox. So this is like any kind of late work, anything like that disappeared and you're like, I don't know where I'm supposed to submit it, just put it in there and I'll find it. So this is like your final last, like, oh my gosh, where does this go? I don't know. Just put it in the assignment Dropbox and I'll find it in there. It'll show up for me. So I think that's about everything that we need to cover on the structure of the course. I will make another video just to go through the syllabus. If you have any questions, just let me know. And I look forward to meeting everybody. If you want to tune in on Monday at 5 o'clock, just follow that Zoom link. Oh, one other thing I forgot to tell you. Yes, so student resources, this other tab on here. If you need any support with e-learning, just click here. That's going to bring you to the e-learning webpage. Academic Support Center, that's tutoring. We have free tutoring. Use the free tutoring. So use me, use tutoring. There's links in here how to get in touch with a tutor. You can Zoom with a tutor. When you click on that, you're going to go to like the main tutoring page, and then there's like this Ask a Tutor form. You can fill out this form. Within this form, you could say, I need to Zoom with a tutor. Connect me with somebody. I want to talk to them right away. Right there in your question, you can put in your question from class. You can also put that on our discussion board. But you can also Zoom with a tutor if you're like, I don't like my teacher. That's fine. Won't be offended. So there's some other resources on here as well. It's all kind of loaded into e-learning for you. So I think I covered everything I wanted to. Please let me know if you have any questions.